In my analysis of the Oprah interview, I mentioned the odds that Meghan would have tried to cut the relationship of in-laws that Kate and Harry had developed over the years. And this is a narcissistic tactic to divide and conquer. In other words, to separate their target from those who could be a threat in the future. But this video is not going to be just mention those tactics. I will give you actionable ways to spot and neutralize these techniques before they cause any permanent harm. Welcome back, my Battle Language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language guy, and it would be great if you join us by just liking this video, subscribing, and hitting that bell. Let's get down to it. The first tactic is triangulation. This has a couple of variations and implementations, but a triangulation basically consists in including a third person into an argument. The narcissist includes this third person for a number of reasons. Maybe they want to make their target jealous, or they want an ally in their manipulative tactics, or they need to spark a brand new conflict that works as a distraction. We all know that Harry already had thoughts of leaving the firm even before meeting Meghan. But the fact that his whole family and royal life was so deeply interconnected emotionally, it would have been really hard to overcome on its own. If Meghan really wanted to cut ties, then she would need to create certain tensions inside the royal family to undermine that bond that Harry had with them. Just to be clear, I don't think that Harry is entirely naive or innocent about this, and that's why I'm having second thoughts about calling this kind of persons victims, because I think the word targets is more appropriate to define them in a neutral way. Also, when a person becomes the narcissist enabler, they are literally helping them into their manipulation. It's like the target ends up helping the narcissist manipulate them. Again, this is a gray area and it's different in all cases, but I wanted to be clear about what is my stance about Harry. I don't think of him as a victim, and that's gonna be important later on. But so it happened that Meghan created this rift with Kate about what happened in the previous days to her royal wedding. That supposedly, as Meghan said in the royal interview, Kate made her cry. Now you might think, and I don't blame you, that this is a rather trivial event. Any person, woman or man, can get nervous, stressed, anxious, and so on. And that could lead to reactions that are far more violent or dangerous than just crying, such as Game of Thrones fans in that last season. But this is precisely one of the main obstacles when you're trying to define and spot narcissistic behaviors. The first manifestations could be slight misunderstandings, frictions, and petty events that can easily go below your radar. That's how a narcissist begins to test the water so they can be sure that it's safe to turn up the heat just a bit. And that's why those events first happen with people that are not related emotionally to you. It could be people you work with or people that work for you. So that crying event was a triangulation tactic. You bring a third person into the argument, in this case, to weaken your target's bond with them. Now, sometimes there will be a genuine problem with a third party. Say, hypothetically, your husband says that there's a problem with one of your cousins and you should do something about it. That could happen. The way you can tell this is a legit issue is that your husband is going to be more worried about you than himself. It's your family or your friend or your coworker, and he knows that what happened can stress your relationship with everyone involved. Healthy people usually react like this because of empathy, and we usually have more intense emotional reactions about our loved ones than with ourselves. But a narcissist works the opposite way. They are going to stress that they were hurt, that they feel bad, that they don't understand how you let all this happen, etc. They're going to make it all about themselves. Keep that in mind because it's relevant. But this triangulation has to be connected with the next tactic. The second tactic involves an action by the target, in this case Harry. But it's not any kind of tactic, it's one very specific that is divided in two parts. Once this kind of triangulation is made, the narcissist tells the target that they have to do something. They can't just stay there and watch. Meghan could have told Harry that she felt hurt, that she felt helpless, and connect that with other moments that she could have felt similar and so on. But then, at that point, Harry had to make a decision. He had to go and talk directly to Kate. But what was he going to say? After all, we already stated that this was a rather small incident, and that's another clue of narcissistic behavior. Narcissists will try to test you to see how far they can escalate certain events. But this second tactic is about the decision Harry has to make. If he goes and demands Kate an explanation about the event, he will lose, and he will lose for the very reason that this is a small incident. Is there a real need to escalate this? The target in this case might feel that there's no need to talk, or you can just shrug it off because they already know the person involved. And if you saw my analysis of Kate and Harry's relationship before meeting Meghan, you already know that they had a strong bond. But if Harry did not address the event, if he didn't reach out to Kate or even mention it to William, then Meghan could tell Harry that he was letting her down, that he was not standing for her, that he was not defending her. So if Harry intervenes, he loses. And if Harry doesn't intervene, he loses as well. That's what is called a double bind. The narcissist makes you face a decision in which any of the two options are bad for you. And that's part of their sadistic game, just to see how you react. But in this case, it's combined with a well-placed triangulation, so that at the same time it attacks the bond of the target with his family, effectively putting Harry's family in the other end of the spectrum as if they are the opponents. And you might remember that Harry said in their engagement interview that Meghan would be a nice addition to the team, and she did not react very well to that. Now, how do you react to this kind of double binds? Well, first of all, deciphering them will be really easy because you will be put in a situation in which every possible decision is a loss for you. And the person that puts you in that situation, in this case, your partner, is not gonna make it any easier. They will know that it's a hard decision for you, and they will just grab popcorn and watch you sweat. But what about if there is effectively a third option that you're not seeing? And the only way to find the third option is, before making any decision, make your due diligence with all the facts of what really happened. This kind of investigation will need all your observation skills, and you can refine them with my 100 body language tips that you can download right in the description of this video. Now, the narcissist will tell you that this is hesitation on your part, that you don't really love them, blah blah blah. What most probably would happen is that you'll find out what things did not occur as the narcissist suggests, and when you tell them, they will play the third tactic, victim playing. In Meghan's case, it's no wonder that the rift with Kate was such a big deal during the Oprah's interview. Just a petty incident blew up, turned 180, and in the end was not true. But that let her play the victim in front of millions. But your narcissist, the one that makes your life miserable, does not need to sit down with Oprah to victimize themselves. Or jump in her couch, that's another option. All they need is certain friction on your part. They start the triangulation, they put you in a double bind, and finally, if you decide to not play their sadistic game, they will play the victim. Maybe they can even make a threat about hurting themselves, just to see how you react. If you want to support my channel and help me make more videos, all you have to do is like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss any of my body language analysis and tips. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, and I'll see you soon, my body language buddies.